5 years ago, I was broke, exhausted, and trapped in a never-ending loop of survival. Then I discovered Joe Dispenza's teachings and meditations, and it completely transformed my financial reality. Today, I've manifested more than $700,000, and I created a reality for myself where $30,000 a month is flowing to me easily. And that's why in today's video, I reveal the 6 laws of using Joe Dispenza's meditations to make large sums of money flow to you, how your old self tries to sabotage your abundant dream life, and how you can easily win the battle and get rich, and the one thing that stops at least 90% of people from manifesting the abundance that they actually deserve. Most people believe that meditating is all about relaxing, but it's about so much more. It's about remembering who you are before you were conditioned to struggle. And I made this realization during one meditation on day number 3 of my very first Joe Dispenza week-long advanced retreat, where I had this overwhelming feeling that no matter what my physical reality showed me, I have the power to let money flow through me. And this means that money doesn't come to you, it flows through you, through your energy. And the result of this experience was this. When I attended my first Joe Dispenza week-long advanced retreat, the more than $3,000 I invested in the retreat, flight, and hotel was a huge amount of money for me. Nowadays, making $3,000 a day has become normal for me. That's how fast your reality can shift. And in his book, Becoming Supernatural, Joe Dispenza shared with us that when you embrace your future emotionally, then your body begins to live in the current present reality as if your future has already happened. And that's why he always says this. Feel it in your heart. Feel it in your brain. That's energy. And that's the moment that changed everything for me, because in this moment I realized that money is not something outside of me. It is something within me. I can tune into the energy of money, into the frequency of money. And by doing that, I emit a signal that then allows me to draw it into my physical reality. And this leads us directly to the first law that I want to share with you. Money is energy, not effort. In his book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, Joe Dispenza reminds us that the quantum field doesn't respond to what we want, but to who we are and what energy we project into the field. And that's why I now want to share some practical steps with you that allow you to bring yourself into energetic alignment with abundance. Step 1. Use the morning hours to energetically align yourself with abundance. So open your eyes in the morning feeling abundant. Maybe you want to start your day with a Joe Dispenza meditation. Maybe you want to repeat some affirmations. Maybe you want to look at yourself in the mirror, stand up tall with your shoulders back and say to yourself, I am abundant. I am rich and wealthy. Step 2. Energetically align your breathing with abundance. And this might sound a little bit weird, but you have to keep in mind that abundance is in alignment with relaxation, because every internal state that we feel will be projected into our physical reality, which means when we are nervous, when we're stressed, then the universe sends us more reasons to be nervous and stressed, aka less money. Which means when you breathe in a relaxed way throughout the day, when you really focus on relaxing your breathing, going into a relaxed state while you're going through the day, this can signal to the field, yes, I am abundant, I am relaxed. Step 3. Bless your energy centers. You can, for example, do this with Joe Dispenza's Blessing of the Energy Centers meditation, or you can do it also for yourself, where you focus your awareness on your chakras, aka your energy centers. And while you do that, there's nothing wrong with feeling abundant. There's nothing wrong with feeling the energy in your body and reminding yourself that money is also just energy, because everything is energy, which means that if you can tune into the frequency of it, you can draw it to you. Now, if somebody would have only told me that the old self does not simply go quietly, oh no, the old identity is fighting for survival. And that's exactly what happened to me in the first month of meditating with Joe Dispenza's meditations. The old self was clinging on. And I like to compare the old self with an alcoholic uncle who's living rent-free in your apartment or house. And when you decide to kick that uncle out, oh, the uncle goes crazy. I will not go anywhere, I'm here to stay. That's not a beer, that looks like a strawberry smoothie. A delicious one. Psst, universe, don't tell him. The first couple of weeks of doing Joe Dispenza's meditations were the hardest. It was as if an angel and a devil were standing on my shoulders, angel here and devil here, and they were fighting it out. You see, it doesn't work. Do something productive. Stop wasting your time with this. But it has to work. There are so many testimonials of people who've already done it. Gollum, Gollum, Gollum. And speaking of testimonials, you will find countless testimonials from my clients on the presentation page of my 8-week Abundance Reality Shift coaching program. And you can click on the first link in the description to find out more about it. And in his book, You Are the Placebo, Joe Dispenza shares with us that we are addicted to the old emotions, the old behaviors, and if we don't change our behaviors and we don't reach a new emotional state, then the old self is pulling us back. And because you don't want the old self to pull you back into your old life, you have to do this. In order to become truly abundant, I had to detox from my old identity. The identity that needed stress to feel alive had to leave my body and my mind. I had to overcome the inner battles and push through the doubt and fear. The money that allowed me to create the life of my dreams was waiting for me on the other side. And here's how this process might feel to you at times. Universe, I'm meditating every day. Why does it feel like I'm drowning? Because you learn to swim in the river of the unknown. Or maybe you're just in the bathtub and you forgot your swimming bands. And this is the part of the transformation process that people often don't want to talk about because it's messy and emotional. And in his book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, Joe Dispenza said that in order for us to change our personality, we have to change our state of being. And this leads us directly to the second law that I want to share with you. The battle with the old self has to be won. And I now want to share several practical action steps with you that I took that allowed me to win the battle against the old self and to achieve financial freedom. Practical step 1. Instead of resisting the discomfort, I was observing it. Every time I felt doubt or worry or fear, I treated these negative emotions as if they are old friends who haven't realized yet that the party is over, which means I was no longer afraid of these old friends showing up at the door. I simply said to them, I love you, but it's time for you to go. Because remember, whatever you resist persists in your life, which means if you try to push these negative emotions away, they will get stronger. But by you relaxing into them and acknowledging that they are there and then blessing them and letting them go in love, then these emotions that are linked to your old self can leave your body and your mind. Practical step 2. Notice where your body tightens when you think about money. A lot of times when we have fears around money, we feel it in our body. Maybe our chest feels tighter or we feel it in our throat. And what helped me in these situations was to simply place my awareness on these areas. And then I took a few deep breaths. And in fact, for a lot of people, there's a lot of stuck energy in energy center number 3 in the solar plexus when it comes to abundance. And that's why in week number 4 of my 8-week one-on-one coaching program, we also focus on unblocking that and asking this energy center for guidance. This was the battle I had to fight, not against the world, but against my old self. And over time, the old self said, bye, 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 as NSYNC said it in their famous song, and then more and more abundance was flowing to me. There will come a moment on your journey where you will stop asking yourself, when will it happen? And you will truly feel it has already happened. But in order to get there, you have to change more than just your schedule where you put 1 or 2 meditations a day in. You have to do so much more. You have to become somebody else. In his book, Evolve Your Brain, Joe Dispenza explains that our brain doesn't know the difference, and yes, this fella is your brain, our brain doesn't know the difference between an experience that we only experience in our imagination and an experience that we have in our physical reality. Which means if you vividly imagine yourself being somebody else and you step into that new self every day, then your physical reality at some point has to change. And this leads us to the 3rd law that I want to share with you. Become your future self now, and your physical reality has to reflect this identity shift. In Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, Joe Dispenza says that by changing your state of being, you are changing your electromagnetic signature, and this new signature draws a completely different reality to you. And this process is not about faking it till you make it. It's about embodying it until your physical reality has to catch up. And here are some action steps that you can take and that I also took in order to become wealth. Action step 1. The moment you open your eyes in the morning, you ask yourself, how does my abundant self act and react today? And once you've written that down, I invite you to do your best throughout the day to act like the abundant self and to also react like the abundant self, which means that you have to become consciously aware of your unconscious reactions and then make different choices. Action step 2. Sit for 10 minutes, close your eyes, and imagine your wealthy self in vivid detail. Imagine how you would walk as this new self, how you would talk, what words you would choose, how you would stand with your shoulders back and your head held high. Become this new self first in your imagination and get really clear about who you will be from this moment on. Action step 3. Walk through the most luxurious mall or shopping street as your abundant self. Imagine how incredible it feels like to be able to buy anything you want, and you can then spend money in your imagination, and by doing that, you will stop looking for evidence for abundance in your physical reality, and you will become the evidence, and that's when money will flow to you. Now, what if I told you that one instant completely changed my financial reality and allowed me to manifest hundreds of thousands of dollars? And it actually happened during a Joe Dispenza meditation. Because for a long time at the beginning of my journey, I was holding on to money way too tightly. I was constantly checking my bank account, and I was actually afraid of losing money again. And then after this one meditation, something felt different. I felt a pull to give, not because I was obligated to give, but because I wanted to give. I felt so abundant that I wanted to share my wealth. I knew that no matter how much money I give away, more wealth would flow to me. That's when I fully trusted the universe. And then the following week I did something that scared me a little bit, but it felt right. I donated a large sum of money, or let's better say for me back then, large sum of money, to a charity I believed in. And what happened was that I finally stopped hoarding money. Because hoarding money is nothing but hoarding energy. And when you're hoarding energy, it cannot circulate. And always remember, money is energy and energy wants to flow. And shortly after it, A lot of different ideas came to me, new clients and new opportunities to generate money. And the universe was also really pleased with me. Good job, my Padawan! I've been to 3 Joe Dispenza week-long advanced retreats, and often he describes how when we live in a state of abundance, we naturally want to give. And I truly believe that this happens because giving is the natural expression of being abundant. Generosity is the frequency of being wealthy. By being generous and by letting money flow out with confidence and joy, you are signaling to the universe that you fully and wholeheartedly believe that more abundance will come to you. Otherwise, you wouldn't be so confident letting it flow out. That's when more abundance has to show up. It's the law. And this leads us to law number 4. Giving from a state of abundance inevitably leads to more abundance in your life. In his book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, Joe Dispenza explains that when we feel elevated emotions such as gratitude, we send a more coherent electromagnetic signal into the field, and the field then responds by giving us people, experiences, circumstances that are equal to this emotional state. And here's what this means for you. The emotional state that you are in when you give is way more important than the amount of money you give. And the following exercises can help you to give from a place of true abundance, so that more abundance can flow to the people you give to and also to you. Do the Tuning into New Potentials meditation from Joe Dispenza and choose giving in abundance as one of the potentials. You can of course also use any other meditation, but I believe that Tuning into New Potentials is really good for it, because for the first potential you can choose the amount of money that you want to earn per month or the net worth you want to have. And then as the second potential, you can choose giving in abundance, and you can of course also specify a certain amount of money you want to give. And while you imagine doing this, really feel wealthy, feel abundant, and allow your mind and your body, and especially your heart, to understand that giving can be a truly fulfilling experience. Exercise 2. Start giving money away. Do it in a way that feels comfortable for you. You can start by giving $1 here, $1 there. It doesn't have to be a huge amount, but do it from a place of abundance, and then more and more abundance can find you. Exercise 3. Practice feeling grateful whenever you let money flow out, even if you have to pay a bill. Or maybe I should say especially when you have to pay a bill. Then it's time to say to yourself, I am so grateful that I have the money to pay this bill, because the fact that you can pay the bill already shows you that there is a certain level of abundance in your life. And only then, when you can be grateful for your current physical reality, can your reality change in a way where the universe brings you even more signs, synchronicities, people and circumstances that make you say thank you and that make you feel grateful. Now imagine you're at a train station and you're holding a ticket in your hands, and that ticket says someday. And you're then waiting all day long for the train to arrive, and at the end of the day you say to yourself, it's late again, just like it is every day. But what you don't realize is that the train has been there all the time, just on a different platform, and all you had to do is to walk across the tracks to the different platform. In his book, Becoming Supernatural, Joe Dispenza shares with us that when you fully enter the present moment, you step out of linear time and into the field where all possibilities already exist. So why do you keep doing this? Universe, why is this taking so long? Because you're waiting for a future that's already here. Here's what eventually happened in my life and on my journey of manifesting abundance. When I finally decided to stop counting the seconds and start feeling the frequency, my train arrived, and with it, the abundance I desire. You have to realize that manifesting is not about checking your bank account multiple times a day, obsessing over when and how the manifestation will arrive. and wondering if it will ever show up. Manifesting is about this. Manifesting is about collapsing timelines by removing the distance between who you currently are and who you want to be. By doing this, you remove the distance between your current reality and your desired reality. That's when the future becomes the present moment. This leads us to law number 5. The only way to collapse timelines in the quantum field is to ignore time in the physical realm. And no matter if you enjoy Joe Dispenza's Tuning into New Potentials meditation, his morning meditation, synchronizing your energy to abundance, the following practical action steps can help you to achieve exactly that. Action step 1. Practice saying it is done, or I already have it, or it's already in my life with conviction. Speak these words whenever you are tempted to look for the signs, to look for the synchronicities. Where are they? When will they arrive? That's when you have to remind yourself that it's already done. It's already in your reality. Action step 2. Once signs and synchronicities are flowing to you naturally, because you have done action step 1, write them down. Write them in your journal and then look at this journal at least once a week to remind yourself that things are already shifting in your reality and that you are on the right path. Action step 3. Do a meditation during which you see and feel your abundant future whenever doubt creeps back in. And here you can use one of the many meditations from Joe Dispenza, but you can also use one of the more than 60 guided meditations and hypnosis files that you receive as a free bonus for investing in my audio program, the 11 Days to Manifestation Mastery program. And you can find out more about this program by clicking on the second link in the description. And now you're in a state where a train full of money, success, and life-changing opportunities can find you. Now imagine you're walking through a hall of mirrors. One mirror shows you as your most confident and abundant self. Another mirror shows you being worried, anxious, and insecure. And you're trying to go to the mirror that shows a reflection of you that you don't want to see. And then you try to polish the mirror, and you think that by polishing the mirror, the reflection will change. But it won't change because you haven't changed the face that looks in the mirror. And that's not how the universe works.
What do you mean I'm busy cleaning that thing?
Just like Neville Goddard said, in your faith is your fortune. Stop trying to change the world, since it is only the mirror. Man's attempt to change the world by force is as fruitless as breaking a mirror in the hope of changing his face. Leave the mirror and change your face. Leave the world alone and change your conceptions of yourself. The reflection then will be satisfactory. In his book, You're the Placebo, Joe Dispenza explains that your energy projects information into the quantum field, and the quantum field then responds with an experience that is the equivalent of the energy that you project into the field. And that's why you have to do this. See every trigger as a teacher. See every time you take a step back as an opportunity to take 2 steps forward. See every delay as a challenge to reach the frequency of abundance more intensely. And this leads us to the final law, to law number 6. Reality creation isn't a one-time event, but a continuous journey of growth. In his book, You're the Placebo, Joe Dispenza also shares with us that our external reality always reflects our internal state. And that's why I invite you to take one more action step. And that's to bless the feedback that the universe provides you with. So whenever a manifestation doesn't show up as fast as you want, or whenever something happens in your life that you label as not that fortunate, then I invite you to repeat the following words and to really feel them. Thank you, universe, for showing me that I can reach the frequency of abundance even longer and more intensely. As Joe Dispenza always says, gratitude is the ultimate state of receivership, and gratitude for your journey turns resistance into magic. And if you are ready to create a magical life, an abundant life, then I invite you to click on the first link in the description or to go to affirmationtomanifestation.com/abundance to find out more about my 8-week one-on-one coaching program, the Abundance Reality Shift Coaching Program. And on this page, you can watch countless video testimonials from clients who have already completed the coaching program and manifested amazing experiences, success, and wealth. And of course, I also invite you to have a look at what awaits you in each of the individual sessions and also the special bonus session that you receive for joining this month. Now, what if I told you that it has become normal for me to make $30,000 a month as my regular monthly income? That was only possible because I used Joe Dispenza's meditations in a very special way. And if you're ready to find out exactly how I accomplished this, I invite you to watch this video next.